for tuning back in. Thank y'all for watching the last video. Thank y'all for subscribing to the channels. Trying to get up to 3,000 subscribers, man. We about there. We about there. Hit that like button. Hit the comments up. We about to get into that dog news the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it. Some ain't. Like I always tell you. But anyway, got some information for you today. You know, hope everybody having a good day. Enjoy your day. Stay safe out there. Let's get into that dog news. You know, we always talking about some of the modern day dogs. So on this episode, we're going to take it way back. We're going way back. You know, back to the 1800s. And from what I hear, or better yet, what I read, this is one of the most popular pit bull matches of all time. You know, popular pit bull matches of all time that happened in 1880. Want to say the late 1880s. Now let's talk about this brother right here, Mr. Con Feely, born Irishman, 1861. You know, lived most of his life in Chicago, Illinois. You know, as a salon keeper. But he was a dog man as well. But the thing about Mr. Con, he didn't really sell, he didn't breed dogs for selling. He just bred them for himself, for his own personal stock. Now, Mr. Feely dog came in all colors. Many of them were red, you know, and people describe the dogs by saying those beady-eyed Feely dogs, because they had beady eyes. So they always would say the beady-eyed Feely dog. Mr. Feely said his dogs were based off of one of the most famous pit bulls of that time, Lloyd's Pilot. Now, Lloyd's Pilot was the one who was in the match from 1881, one of the most famous matches of all times. Now, this match was so well known during that time because of so much publicity that it received from the Police Gazette at that time. Before the match and after the match, you know, that match received a lot of publicity. Now, Pilot was bred by John Holden, a Red Lion Inn, you know, from England. And he got that dog from a proven line of fighting dogs, you know, Now, Pilot defeated Crib in 1 hour and 25 minutes. But Pilot was later defeated by Deleon's Ned. Now, it was said that Pilot was bred so much as a stud throughout his time, used so much as a stud, never stopped using as a stud, always breeding, that weakened him for his match against Deleon's Ned. You know, they say that's why he came in weak, and Mr. Holden picked him up. You know, seeing that he couldn't handle Ned anymore. Now, Mr. Feely's name is tied to the controversial battle between Farmer's Turk and Feely's Gym, which happened on December 6, 1881. See, it wasn't any debate about this match at the time being the longest documented match at that time, you know, but the problem came in when different eyewitnesses start saying different things, you know, everybody having their own different opinions about how it went down, why this happened, how that happened, when this happened, you know, everybody coming up with different little stories. Now, Mr. Feely was also associated with the name W.T. Deleon. You know, he was also from Chicago, and he had his own line of dogs as well. Now, Feely's Jesse bred to Deleon's Crazy Kate, and they had 3 little mate puppies. You know, the year 1900, Banshee, Monkey, and Patty. Now, Deleon's Crazy Kate can be traced back to Lloyd's Pilot. You know, Lloyd's Pilot. She has Lloyd's Pilot at least 5 times in her pedigree. Now, Monkey and Patty was owned by Mr. Feely and Deleon at different times, you know, Monkey was a 27-pound red dog that won 15, and Patty, she was a 5-time winner. Now, although Mr. Feely died in 1924, in 1941, Jack Williams bred a pure Feely dog named Turk. All right, he sold that dog to Bruce in Los Angeles, and that dog was later sold to Mr. Earl Tudor. So in a lot of people's pedigrees, you may see the dog as Bruce's Turk or Tudor's Turk. The dogs down from Turk, including Tudor's Dabo, were all great breeders. You know, even when you cross them out the other lines. But on another note, when Bruce had Turk, he made Bruce's Jerry. And that was a whole nother line of, you know, Feely dogs. And they produced great dogs as well. Now, Bruce's Jerry who was sired by Turk, was said to sire many good dogs. He was a black, tan, and white dog and considered one of the gamest dogs of his time. Now, a guy named Cunningham from Illinois also bought a bunch of Feely dogs, and he bought a son off of Bruce's Jerry. Now, his son off Bruce's Jerry, he called Cunningham's Boxer, okay? Now, later on down the line, Cunningham's Boxer was sold to Covino, and Covino changed the name to Gimp. Now, Gimp was a 42-pound white dog with red and tan spots on his right side. Red and tan spots on his right side. Now, Gimp was bred on Mr. Covino yard to Jordan's Goldie. Now, Goldie was later sold to Mr. Covino as well and changed to Covino's Goldie. And that's how it looks in everybody's pedigrees today, Covino's Goldie. All right, of that litter, they had the puppies, and from that litter they had Hubbard's Gimp. Hubbard's Gimp is in a lot of pedigrees today, and that's from that litter. So Boxer name was changed to Gimp. All right, Gimp bred Goldie and made Hubbard's Gimp. Now, Hubbard's Bouncer was considered very game, and he is a result from the breeding of Hubbard's Gimp and Hubbard's Lima. He was also known as Anderson's Bouncer and Covino's Bounce. He sired 3 great puppies: Arizona Pete, Dabo, and Rascal. Now, Rascal was first sold to Mr. and Mrs. H.K. Hansen in Texas, then later on to Louisiana, where he was known as Larman's Rascal. He was later sold and won 2 matches as Clayville's Pimple. Won 2 matches as Clayville Pimple, was sold again, and is known today in the pedigrees as Trans Rascal. Trans Rascal. I may be pronouncing it wrong, maybe pronouncing it right, but that's how he's known in the pedigrees today. Now, Arizona Pete and Tudor's Dabo, they had the same dad, but they had different moms. Heinzel's Bambi, was their dam. Heinzel's Bambi, okay? Now, Arizona Pete, wasn't as famous as Dabo, but the reason for that is, Al Brown didn't stud him out like they studded out Dabo at that time. Now, Arizona Pete would make a mark as well. He was bred back to his mother, and when he was bred back to his mother, a puppy off that litter would become, the foundation or very important to Mr. Boudreaux, the blind Billy dog. Now, Dabo was a late bloomer. He was a late bloomer. He didn't even start up till he was 3 years old under Mr. Earl Tudor. Now, Dabo didn't start till he was 3. And a lot of people go crazy when they don't start at 6 months or they don't start at 10 months. People go crazy. Oh, he's cold. 12 months, he's cold. Year and a half, he's cold. Dabo didn't start up to 3. Dabo and everybody pedigree just about. Now, Charles Doyle of Indiana also received some Feely dogs when Feely moved to California. He crossed them with his Tacoma dogs, which were a line of dogs bred from Tudor's Black Jack and Tacoma's Jack. Now, Tacoma Jack traced back to the Henry dogs, which were bred up off of Old English dogs. Now, Al Brown sent 2 dogs in 1936 and 1940, to Doyle, which were important in making the lines of the Tacoma line, American Staffordshire Terrier. If you just take a little bit of time, go back in your pedigree, you'll probably see most of the dogs that I'm talking about now. If you got American Pit Bull Terriers or maybe Staffordshire Terriers. Pretty much. And I ain't gonna hold you here too long. Like I said, just give you a little bit of history on Mr. Con Feely and the people he was dealing with, and some of the pit bull things that was going on back in the early days or whatever. But I appreciate y'all for watching the video, subscribing to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, man, if you haven't hit it yet. How hard is it? Hit that subscribe button, it's free. People spin like it's easy. But something free people won't do. Something free. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment at the bottom. It's your boy PBK9s. Give me that dog news the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. You know what I'm saying? Some gonna like it, some ain't. Hope y'all have a great day. Like I always say, stay safe out there. It's your boy, and I'm about here.